Live from Austin, Texas, with host Rosie Newberry. Local trends, shopping, and more. This is Studio 512.
Good morning, everybody. Do you need a closet refresh for the new year? Le Garage Sale is a perfect opportunity to find some deep discounts on local brands and boutiques. Danny Dudek is here to tell us more. Lovely to have her in the studio. Danny, good morning.
It's lovely to be here.
Hi.
Thanks for having me.
Let's talk about Le Garage Sale. It's back. Happens twice a year.
Twice a year,
Remind us about the event.
I mean, this is, if you are a bargain shopper, this is the best event of the year. I always say this is one of my favorite things that happens in Austin. It's 140 plus vendors, a lot of local boutiques. Some of these are pop-ups that you can't find anywhere else. They don't have a storefront. So one-of-a-kind, unique deals are what I'm always on the hunt for, and it's a good time. You can get a drink, you can listen to the DJ, hang out with your girlfriends.
It isn't the ultimate girlfriend's getaway, and I love that we're showing, how big this space is because it's the Palmer Event Center, correct? And so we've got hundreds of thousands of square feet to show off.
Yeah, we fill that whole thing.
Oh, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Talk to me about your coverage of the event, because we were talking about this off camera, and I just think it's so sweet.
So I first went in 2009. This has been around since 2001. A very different Austin back then.
A different Austin?
The first time I went was 2009. I know this because I wrote a blog about it, which I found the other day. I was so excited, and my big buy was a sleep shirt that had Tom Selleck on the front of it.
He is very handsome.
He is very handsome, and I love a mustache, especially in 2009.
Yes, that was all the rage. The mustache tattoo.
I have the mustache tattoo.
Do you really? Oh my gosh, I didn't even know that. Well, that has made me really genuinely joyful. Okay, let's talk a little bit about some of the vendors, some of the things that are going to be on offer, because yes, I do like to say it's like a girlfriend's paradise.
Yes.
But they've got kid stuff, they've got guy stuff, they've got vintage finds.
They've got a little bit of everything. And there's housewares. I mean, we brought the Katie Kime buckets here.
Oh, these are Katie Kime.
Yeah, so you've got Katie Kime clothing, but you've also got a lot of different housewares. There's vintage stuff, lots of vintage boots, like amazing one-of-a-kind boots.
So if you haven't ingested that appropriately, it's that somebody else has done the hard work of wearing that boot in for you. There is no break-in period.
Exactly. You'll find Uptown Cheapskate has a bunch of vintage and resale finds there. And it's jewelry and men's, like you said, men's, children's. Frankie Jean is one that's really fun with all the cute Austin taglines on their hats and shirts, and they have cute kid stuff too.
Yeah. I want to talk about the shoes that I'm looking at here. These are things owned by you.
Those are mine. The shoes are always one of my first things that I kind of zip through to try to find, because usually they only have one size, maybe two sizes, because this is like overstock, something they haven't been able to sell, just like when you go to a clearance section at a boutique. So I have 3 pairs of sneakers that I bought at Le Garage Sale.
Lovely. And this hat I have to bring up, Corazon?
Well, no, that's who made this little part right here. This is Primavera. She's there every year. This again is like a unique buy that I wear all the time. This is perfect for ACL. She also makes team ones that are so cute, like little UT specific or other Texas teams.
Oh, and then I didn't have to worry about my hair on game day.
Exactly.
Yeah.
This is, definitely one of my favorite purchases ever.
Oh, that's amazing. You could get a lot of use out of that hat. Okay. I want to talk about what it takes for first timers to be successful, because I have a list in my mind. I've been to Le Garage a couple of times, but I just want to hear from someone who's been since 2009. What would you say to somebody who's maybe going for the first time?
Well, I definitely recommend VIP, because you get in an hour and a half earlier, 9:30 on Saturday. You will see people rush because they've already done their pre-work. They know what vendors they want to get to first, so they can find either that deep discount or their size, because it's going to sell out. Bring a bag. I always bring a pretty large tote with me that's easy to put on my shoulder.
Because it may not be available at the checkout. So you might have to end up holding your clothing. You don't want that.
Yes. Comfy shoes, because again, You gotta run to your faves. I always try to wear something like either a skirt with shorts underneath or yoga pants, because some of the vendors will have a little setup to try clothes on, but a lot of them will not. Shoes that slip on and off easily, you know, all that stuff. Just like when you go to a thrift store, you always want to like be able to put things on over what you have on. So I think that's my biggest tip, is I always want to be comfy and be able to layer things on.
Absolutely. So I'm thinking like catsuit sort of thing, or like if you were to wear like long line sports bra and a pair of leggings,
exactly,
hot shorts, something like that, something
yes,
where you can slip maybe a pair of jeans on over or something.
Exactly.
Get a good idea of what you're looking at.
Yeah.
Because there will be some curtained off areas, but there will not be a ton of opportunity for you to slip into a fitting room and spend a lot of time. Yeah. And then let's talk about the cash versus card setup. So are most vendors taking cards at this point, or should we bring cash?
Yeah, the last few years I haven't had anyone that wanted cash only, because now it's like, you know, there's so many apps and it's like easy to use your phone to pay. So that has not been a problem for me, because I'm a person who hardly ever has cash on me.
Same.
So I think most of us nowadays are that way. So yeah, I wouldn't worry about that.
Okay.
I mean, there are ATMs on site if there was an emergency.
Gotcha. And you and I were talking off camera as well about our friends at Estilo, Stephanie Colchis O'Neill. I love her so much. But on a day-to-day basis, I cannot afford her goods. And so there are some boutiques that are going to be there, and I think it bears discussion how deep the discounts can be, because you can get up to 70, 80, 90% off what someone might have been listing this item for otherwise.
Yeah, there's some, it's like a whole rack of $10 items. So, I mean, my advice is always to kind of like, if you have a specific vendor that you know you want stuff from, go to them first. But I usually kind of go through the whole thing pretty quickly, so I get an idea and then go back to the ones I really want to hit.
Okay. You skim and then go back with intention.
Yes, but I'm a professional shopper, so there's that.
I'm on my way, but I'm not quite there yet. Just real quickly before we let you go, because of inclement weather, nothing has changed as far as cancellations, but we have changed the hours just a little bit of Lake Garage.
So VIP on Saturday stays the same, 9:30 to 11, but we're gonna cut things off an hour earlier. Okay. Cut things off at 4 so that people have time to get home, stay safe, and then we'll start an hour later on Sunday, so noon.
Starting at noon. All right. And this is a good opportunity, y'all, if it's safe. I don't want to encourage anyone to be out on the roads if it's not, but if it's just cold rain, it might keep some people home. Get out there and get the discounts.
Well, yeah, and there's parking on site. You don't really have to be outside, just walking from the parking structure to Palmer. That's it.
Sounds good. And come home with some big deals. Danny, thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
All right. Don't miss all these great discounts from local spots all under one roof. Head to LayGarageSale.net to buy your tickets right now. The following portion of Studio 512 is sponsored by Factor. Factor, a ready-to-eat meal delivery service, is launching the Factor Protein Power Up right here in Austin. We're lucky today we get to speak with the head of nutrition and a registered dietitian at Factor. It's Kara Cash. Kara, let's talk about the Factor pop-up shop. This is pretty exciting. It's only happening in 3 cities across the nation.
Yes, it's so exciting. So this is the Factor Protein Power Up shop. It's a 2-day event where we're really showcasing how high protein eating, especially at lunch, can be made simple. So guests can come on in and trade in a low protein lunch, or if they're skipping lunch for the day, they can come in and grab a complimentary chef-crafted high protein meal. It's a pretty interactive experience. So they come through, and in addition to grabbing their meal, they'll take a protein quiz. They can check our protein power up wall where we're counting how much protein we're giving out to customers today. And they can also chat with one of the dietitians, either myself or Olivia are on site.
We are now so big on protein. As a registered dietitian, can you touch on that a little bit for me?
Yes, it's no surprise protein is really trending, and I think rightly so. It is such an important macronutrient that gives us energy, it helps us feel fuller for longer, and it can really help prevent that like 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock energy crash that a lot of us feel throughout the day.
Tell me about the ability to enter to win a year of free Factor meals. This is really exciting, a social giveaway.
Yes, this is so exciting. So you can win a 1-year free Factor meals if you follow at Factor Meals on Instagram and post to your story about your experience at the Protein Power Up shop, you'll be entered to win.
Tell us a little bit more about Factor and kind of the idea behind the business.
Yes, so Factor is the world's leading ready-to-eat meal delivery service. We make fresh, never frozen meals. So if you subscribe to our service, you get fresh meals in your delivery every week. You pop them in the refrigerator, and when you come time to eat, you take them out and you heat and eat within 2 minutes. So it's a really quick, convenient solution. They're all designed by dietitians, approved by dietitians, and crafted by chefs.
This pop-up is happening January 22nd, January 23rd, 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. both days. But then, unfortunately, the pop-up's going to leave us. So I want to make sure that people know about getting invested with Factor, because they can start ordering the meals today. If someone is maybe thinking about the new year and saying, I want to focus on my health, what would you say to them?
I would say check us out on our website. So go to factormeals.com and you can see the wide variety of meals and add-on products that we have. We also do have our nutrition coaches online.
For more information, visit factormeals.com. The preceding portion of Studio 512 was sponsored by Factor. We're getting excited because the 2026 Winter Games are right around the corner, and one local author has a new novel based on futuristic Olympics. Joining us now is former Olympic journalist Joe Battaglia. Joe, good morning.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Such a cool idea here. You've got this new book out called Beneath the Rings. Yep. Set up the plot a little bit for us.
So the setting is the 2040 Olympics in Doha, Qatar, and 12 athletes are kidnapped by a terrorist organization. And the protagonist is an Olympic journalist named Nova Mendelsohn, and she gets kind of pulled into the plot and starts to unravel some of the mystery and kind of goes through hell and back to save the Olympic movement.
Wow, okay. And can I talk to you about your inspiration for some of this? Because 2040, not that far away.
Not that far away. Doha is bidding, so I mean, it could end up there. We don't know.
You might be pulling on some pieces of current reality in order to make this book.
Yeah, for sure. I will say you have to suspend disbelief. Security is so high at the Olympics that, could something like this happen today? I think not. So I always ask my readers, you suspend disbelief for the plot. But I hearkened it a little bit back to the Munich massacre in 1972 when the Israeli athletes were kidnapped. So that was a rooting foundation. And then I wanted a strong female protagonist, and I wanted her to be an independent journalist, so she's not tied to any one organization, had a little bit more freedom there to kind of go out on her own and kind of explore what's happening behind the plot and kind of start to put the pieces together.
Strong heroine. Good for you.
Yep.
Thank you.
That's what we're looking for.
We appreciate that.
Yep.
And I love that this draws on your actual lived experience, because you have worked with NBC in the past and you've been web producing for the Olympic Games. 4 of them, I believe.
4 of them. Yep.
Yeah, tell me about that.
Yeah, so I started with NBC Olympics in 2008. I was a track and field producer for the Beijing Olympics, and then in 2010 I switched over to alpine skiing for my winter sport. Neat. And carried those through London and Sochi. It was so cool.
Yeah. Can you give me, a couple of memories of, I know that's a lot of pieces to put together, but anything that stands out to you that
I've seen all of Usain Bolt's world records in person.
Wow.
So not just the ones that he ran in Beijing, but then the following summer when he lowered them at the World Championships in Berlin, I was there for that. I've seen Lindsey Vonn now. I mean, she's 41 and still going at it. Who would have thought back then? But saw her win her gold medal in Vancouver. That was cool. I mean, there's just so many moments, over the course of those, 4 Olympic cycles.
Absolutely.
It was a time of my life, professionally, for sure.
When you say, when we talk about opening ceremonies, I was talking about, it was so cool to see the Spice Girls in London, but you said China actually stood out to you the most of the opening ceremonies.
Yeah, China came out with a bang. They meant business. And to this day, I think it's the best Olympic opening ceremony that I've seen. I mean, the 8,000 drummers, everything to, clocking to eights because eight is, culturally good luck in China. The show that they put on, just telling the history, I think kind of set the bar for future opening ceremonies. And I tried to capture some of that in Beneath the Rings.
Cool.
I wanted to make sure that, the first Olympic scene is, Nova and the other, journalists at the opening ceremony and, bringing some of that, that glitz, glam, and storytelling.
That's amazing. Okay. I'm not going to hold you to this, but what are you thinking about next?
Oh man, I've been so wrapped up in the promotion of Beneath the Rings that I haven't thought too much yet, but I've got the machinations in my mind of what a sequel to Beneath the Rings could look like. Okay. It's open to that. I made sure I left it open to that. So who knows? Beneath the Rings 2, maybe. We'll see.
We'll see. Yeah, we'll see where things head. But I love that it's drawing on, the experience that you've had as, part of your real life. I want to ask what you're excited about the upcoming Winter Olympics.
Oh man, I can't wait for Alpine. I mean, having been, so closely attached to that coverage, it's near and dear to my heart. Michaela Schifrin is the GOAT, 107 World Cup wins.
Wow.
She's been racing really well so far on the circuit. And again, Lindsey Vonn, a titanium knee, 41 years old. She's got nothing to prove and is still going out there racing. She's won 2 World Cups so far this season in the downhill. She's been on 5 podiums. She's looking really good. So I'm really looking forward to watching those two.
And when you see someone come down, now that you've seen some gold medals happen in real time, can you tell in that moment? Can you tell, even before the board goes up and says, oh, it's officially gold or whatever, can you say, look at it and say, that was Lindsey Vonn's gold? You
can have, there are markers coming down the hill. So the first skiers will set, the pace. And then coming down, you'll see once they hit certain intervals, is it green or red? And then you'll know whether, the skier is going faster or is a little bit behind and has, ground to make up. And usually if you see all greens coming down, yeah, cha-ching.
Ah, this is so cool. I can't wait to see the 2026 Winter Olympics. Yep. And such a cool book to add on to the mix. We really appreciate it, Joe. Thank you.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
All right, for more information on Beneath the Rings and to get your copy, visit booksbybattaglia.com.
Bert Kreischer is back with an all-new sitcom on Netflix called Free Bert, premiering on January 22nd. He joins me now. Hi, Bert. What's up?
I'm coming to Austin tomorrow.
I know, and I'm pumped.
I know. I'm excited. I'm there for the weekend, and then I come back on the 26th.
Oh my God. Okay. Well, you're just hanging out with us, I guess, all weekend. So,
oh, buddy, I got the Stoic. What the Stoic? I'm doing with Ryan Holiday. I'm going to get my blood work at Ways to Well. I'm hanging out with Rogan. I got a weekend planned.
You're booked and busy. I love this. Well, Bert, why don't you give me just a little bit of an idea of what Free Bert is about?
Free Bert is a fictionalized version of my life. It's about a period of my life where I kind of lost myself a little bit. The girls were complicated. Georgia was getting older. She wanted her autonomy. I still wanted to hold on to her a little bit. We were at a new school, and it just kind of, everything blew up on me. And I think I lost myself in the process. And even with stand up and taking my shirt off and who am I and what am I doing? And I was kind of lost in my career at the time. And then it was about me finding myself. And so it's all of that period, really 2016, 17, crammed into 6 episodes.
So this is interesting because kind of as you said, a lot of people know you as this very happy-go-lucky kind of over-the-top personality. And so why was it important for you now to maybe hone in on a more serious topic or phase of your life, but in still a way that felt true to you?
I think that I've done so much in my specials of talking about my kids, talking about my family. And I got to be honest with you, I don't talk much about myself. I tell stories about everyone. And then I'm a part of that story, but I'm never really telling you about how I feel. I think I did that a little bit on podcasts, maybe too much, but I definitely cried too much. But I think it was important to show the dad's journey in raising girls and feeling like an outsider. A lot of times dads got to put on a cold front and be like, no, I'm good. I'm so happy to be in this new school. When you're also nervous and have anxiety and you don't know anyone and you don't have any friends. I mean, dude, it is so hard to make a friend at 50 years old. Like,
Yeah.
and so I wanted to incorporate a little bit of that in there too, and show all my flaws and along with my family's flaws.
Yeah, well, I'm excited for people to get to check that out. Now, as you mentioned, you will be in Austin on the 22nd and 23rd performing live at the movie theater with permission to party. So kind of give our viewers an idea of what to expect at these live shows.
So this is my new hour. I'm going to be recording this for Netflix in probably 2027. And look, both my girls are in college. Leanne and I are empty nesters. So it's a little less of the family stuff. If you want that, watch the TV show, and a little more life, of like a little more relatable, not about, my daughter did something silly. She did, but she's in a different city now.
You talked about kind of the shirtless bit of it all, right? How did that come to be? Because that's probably how people know you best.
I honestly started doing it to remind myself that stand-up should be fun. I would go on the road. I wasn't selling any tickets. I was making $1,300 a week. Half of that went to managers and agents. And I was angry at Thursday night in Dayton, Ohio, and there's 75 people in the room, and it's not getting better Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. And I was just like, I don't want to be here. I want to be home. I want to be with my kids at a softball game. And one night, the manager gave me a 6-pack of Heineken and a bucket, and he goes, try to have fun. And I heard that, and I went, I should have fun. I should have fun. This is the greatest job in the world. And so I went on stage. Black Betty was playing by Ram Jam. I ripped my shirt off. And from that day to today, I've been ripping my shirt off. It's been 15 years.
Yeah. And it's one of the greatest bits of all time now, which I think is incredible. Now, as I understand, last question for you here is, that you were quite the partier in your college days and you were kind of recognized for that as well. Did you ever envision that period of your life would kind of help you kind of blossom into this wonderful career that you've had all this time?
Never. I would be less shocked if you told me I was an astronaut. If you could go back in time and tell 25-year-old Bert, just so you know, you're gonna be the first man on Mars, I'd be like, for real? And then it's either that or you'll be headlining arenas around the country and you'll have your own TV show on Netflix. You'll have done a movie that's streamed #1 on Netflix for a month. Just so you know, that's gonna be your life. And your friends are not gonna be these guys you're hanging out with now. They're gonna be the funniest human beings in the world. And anytime you're around them, you're going to die laughing. You're going to be married to a fantastic wife who's your ride or die and has your back and will produce all your stuff. And your daughters and you are going to have an amazing relationship. And one day you're going to be promoting your show on Netflix and you're going to be walking through Central Park and your daughter's going to call you at 6:30 in the morning going, hey, Dad, how you feeling this morning? And I'm worried about your blood clots. And I go, God dang it, Isla, you love me. I'd be less shocked.
Yeah, I mean, what a beautiful life, what a beautiful story. So, Bert, thank you so much for your time this morning. Free Bert on Netflix, January 22nd. And he'll also be live at the Moody Theater here in Austin. So check him out. Thanks, Bert.
Thank you, brother.
Welcome back. Winter, of course, brings that drier air. It can really reduce moisture on our faces, even make you feel a little bit scaly. So our friend Gentry Quinn is here with tips to protect our skin barrier. I'm interested to know why we're talking skin barrier first. So good morning, Gentry.
Good morning. This is a good one because the barrier is something that, in very simple terms, it keeps the good stuff in and it keeps the bad stuff out. So when we do those common things, we've all done them before, use too many actives, maybe over exfoliate, maybe cleanse too much, things like that, we can sort of start to strip that barrier and then it leaves us with compromised skin. So today I really want to go over this really easy 3-step beauty routine that anyone can do if they have dry skin, red skin, irritated, all those things that winter tends to bring. We're going to fix that today.
Okay, yes. I love to hear that.
Yes.
Let's get started.
Okay, cool. So the very first thing I want to talk about is cleanser. Okay, so if you have dry, sensitive, mature skin, you might want to lean on a cleanser that is a little bit more gentle, but whatever the case you choose to use at night that's working for you, that's not too stripping. In the morning, a good beauty tip is to just rinse your skin with warm water because the skin doesn't like extremities. And if you're not waking up with super oily skin, right, or super dirty skin, which we're usually not, and your products from the night before have already had a chance to do their magic, then you're just waking up, you've got the natural oils on your face, rinse with warm water, and you're good to go.
Don't strip your skin further.
Yes.
Of use the moisture that your skin has given you.
Exactly.
Okay. All right.
Perfectly said. Okay. So the second tip is going to be right when you get out of the shower or the bath, you have this 60-second window, right? Right where that water starts to evaporate. So if you can, leave your hydrating serum close by, apply that first, and it'll help bring the moisture up to the cells of the skin. So I like to use a hyaluronic based serum. Sure. I know there's lots of fun trends out there, but for me, I consider myself sort of like an anti-beauty trend setter. You know what I mean? I got like the tried and true classic hyaluronic acid, things like aloe, glycerin, those are great humectants. Look for those on the back of your serum and apply that first.
Okay, 60 seconds when you get out of the shower. So basically the first thing you do.
If you can. I always say you can't lock in moisture you don't have. So just think of it that way.
Good point. When I learned that your face should be wet in order to put hyaluronic acid on, it changed the game for me because I was like, I don't understand why everybody thinks this is a holy grail product. Once you have wet skin and you use hyaluronic acid, then you see the difference.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
And don't put too much pressure on yourself. Like if you're doing it at a different time, like if your beauty routine is broken up for some reason, maybe apply a little mist. Or just dampen your face first and then apply it. I have that, the little mist in the bottle.
I do too.
There you go. And then problem solved.
I love
there
it.
you go.
Okay, and third step?
Third step is locking it in with something that's more occlusive. So for you, it can be your favorite facial lotion, your favorite facial butter, maybe a facial oil. If you apply a facial lotion, butter, and oil, just apply your oil last because whatever you apply on top of those humectants, it's going to seal it in and help prevent water loss. And that's what we want if we have compromised, dry, sensitive skin, those things that the winter tends to bring on.
Well, I was going to say, definitely use moisturizers, but then especially I get so much dryness right around my nose. I use something like Aquaphor to kind of seal it all in.
Yes, we're going to get to that in just a second with a beauty hack because you are smart. You are smart.
I'm following your advice is what I'm doing. So let's talk about some beauty hacks.
That is the great. So I'll start with that one because I usually say it last because I feel like it's a very underrated beauty tip, the one that you just talked about. Putting something around the nose, particularly when we start to see that drier weather, we start to
you're blowing your nose, you've got all sorts, allergies. It's certainly allergy season.
The heaters are running, that dries everything out. So putting a little something around your nose or wherever those spots are for you that you mentioned can really help lock in the moisture and prevent that dry, flaky skin. Okay. So I love that you brought that up. So another tip, it's just so easy, but I feel like if it's not easy, we tend to not do it. Do you feel like that?
Oh, 100%.
So leaving something like a hand cream and a lip balm by your bed, that's what I do, and applying that, the hands and the lips tend to lose moisture first. So that's why it's so important. Just do it before bed, and I promise you'll
I use the O'Keeffe's working hands because I dry out crazy fast.
Yes.
So I'm to the point where I thought should I put gloves on it?
I mean, you can. You could do that with something Vaseline and socks at night if you want to soften up your feet. You know what I mean? So you could totally do that.
Okay.
If you really want to go the extra measure, Rosie, I mean,
I've got such sensitive skin, it just dries out so quick.
I understand.
And your third hack?
So retinol, most people use it. If you do use it, you don't have to stop using it during the winter if your skin gets dry, but here's a couple ways to modify the use of it. One little beauty tip is to look for retinol that's OL on the end. There's lots of different types of vitamin A's, right? There's the retinols, there's prescription tretinoin. So the OL, that will tend to be a little bit more gentle on the skin, okay?
I didn't know that.
So you can also use a moisturizing formula. So I just have this as an example here because it's very moisturizing, so it's already mixed in with the retinol, right? Or you can use your prescription and you can sandwich it in between a moisturizer. Anytime you put on a little moisturizer and then any type of retinol, it's going to slow down the absorption rate and it's going to make it a little bit easier. Also, if you wait until your skin is totally dry, whenever you put on a retinol, we're doing the opposite thing with the retinol, right?
Yes, because if it's wetter, right, it speeds the reaction up and then you can have bigger reactions.
Yes, it might have it absorb a little too quickly and it might be irritating. So you want to make sure your skin is totally dry before you apply your retinol. And again, if you apply a little bit of cream beforehand, it'll slow down the absorption, or you can use it every other day. That's another hack with your retinol. So there are ways that you can continue to use it during the winter time.
Okay.
And just pay attention if your skin to how your skin feels.
Right. If things are shifting, make a shift as well.
Yes, exactly.
And then we've got 10 seconds, but I know you want to say it. SPF, should we wear it every day of the year?
You should, yes. It's always the last step in your skincare routine.
Okay,
as a
good to
bonus
know.
tip.
Oh, always helpful to
You
have
got
you, Gentry.
this.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you so much.
Watch Gentry's daily over 40 beauty tips on TikTok and Facebook at Gentry Quinn, and take a deeper dive on skin protection and other beauty topics on her website. I love her to death, gentryquinn.com.
Apple TV's #1 show, Pluribus, takes you into a futuristic world where everyone shares one mind, and lead actress Ray Seahorn joins me now, fresh off her award wins in the last few weeks. Hi, Ray, how are you?
Hi, nice to be here. I'm good. Thank you.
So you play this amazing character, Carol Sturka. Tell me kind of what your immediate thoughts were of kind of playing Carol and getting to reunite with Vince Gilligan.
Uh, I read that first script and probably had the same reaction as most people that watched the pilot. I was like, this is bananas. But I also immediately saw that Vince wanted to really like take these wild swings, not just with genre defying, like, and using tropes from apocalyptic movies and sci-fi horror movies, all of it, but that also he was going to thread the needle with tone and keep, it's very, very funny. And then it's darkly psychological sometimes in the same scene. And I knew that was going to be fun, especially having collaborated with Vince. I mean, we're going on 11 or 12 years now, but I knew it was going to be challenging in the most blissful way to find that tone with him. And so we did a lot of the scenes, many takes, just looking for how comedic can you push this scene and how dark can you push this other scene, and before they can't live in the same world anymore. And it was really fun.
Yeah, I love that. Now, one of my favorite aspects of this show is that it kind of does this polarizing take on happiness and kind of like world unity piece, if you will. But your character is extremely suspicious of everything happening. So what do you feel like maybe you've learned from Carol on a personal level, and what's it meant to you to be so integral within this show?
It's been fun being so integral as far as like, I mean, I was very aware that I am the audience's entry point to go down the rabbit hole. Like I'm the one, taking them all around. And even though she's not handling it with grace often, what was most important to Vince and I was that she is a real person amidst a very unreal circumstance, because there is intense drama, but there's also many very, very, very funny moments that are born out of what if this was a real person? She's not super heroic. She's carrying around the burden of grief. And we try to keep all of these things very real about the what would you do? As far as me personally, it made me think a lot. I'm not a misanthrope or a fault finder like Carol was before this event even happened, but I can sometimes forget to be totally present in a moment of joy because I'm already thinking about like, but what if this, or what if that, or maybe I need to wait till this, maybe I'm not allowed to enjoy this until XYZ. And it's a mistake. It's a mistake. Enjoy the tiniest little joys you can every day.
Yeah, living in the present, I think, is a hard thing for a lot of us. Now, something that I really, really love about your character is her relationship with her partner, Helen. And of course, we find out early on that she does pass. And it's interesting because I feel like we see you go on this journey of kind of grappling with grief while also accepting the terms of this new reality that you really don't have any control over. So as an actress, as the actress in the show, what's it like for you kind of melding all that together? Because it's a really weird headspace to live in, I feel like.
Yeah, and thank you for saying that. And Miriam Shore, who played Helen, is just an incredible actress and an incredible human being. And we bonded very quickly. I had not met her before. I know her work. I know her brilliant work. But we wanted to make sure that relationship had weight, not just while it's on screen, but because of the weight it carries for the whole season. Helen is still there. She's very present. And we had lots of conversations, Vince and I, as well as hair and makeup and costumes, about the reality of making sure that grief stays present. And most of us have been there, unfortunately. And grief is its own temporary insanity. It just is. It's like all bets are off about how one behaves. And it was important to us that she not get up and take a shower or put makeup on or do her hair. And she's sleeping on the couch for a while because it's too painful to go and sleep in the bed where her wife used to be. And we tried to keep that present. And then, as you mentioned astutely, it comes up against having to accept this new world, and even gets driven over a cliff when she's faced with living partially delusional towards the end of the season, to kind of accept, like, this is the only life I guess I'm going to have, because the counterpoint to that is the horror of just being alone in her house and just dying alone and never speaking to anybody again. It's horrific.
Yeah. Yeah, well, it's an incredible show, Ray. Thank you so much for taking the time to speak with me.
Thank
Season
you.
2 coming soon, fingers crossed, and congrats on all the awards you've been receiving. We hope you get more.
Oh, thanks. Thank you very much.
We have a lot of fun here on Studio 512. If you missed any of our great segments, be sure to check out our website, where we like to post the fun things we do. Our feed covers content like arts and entertainment, food and drink, fashion and beauty, home and garden, stuff for kids and pets, as well as information from area experts. In addition, you can check out web-exclusive content that you can only find on Studio512TV.com. We also love to post behind-the-scenes funny moments, outfit inspirations, and more on social media. Find us by searching for Studio 512 on your favorite platform. You don't want to miss a single post. Be sure to follow us, check out our website, and watch us every weekday at 11 a.m. right here on CW Austin.
Hey, we are happy to be able to offer you some help if you're out there searching for jobs. KXAN has partnered with ZipRecruiter to help you find thousands of job openings in Austin and around the country. Just go to kxan.com/jobs, where you can search thousands of new postings every single day.